And the number of foreclosures in Washington State are going down, but lots of people are still struggling to hold on to their homes. Advantage Legal Group has been helping people stay in their homes and in many cases lower their mortgage payments too through Washington State's Foreclosure Fairness Act. Jonathan Smith from Advantage Legal Group is back along with Peter and Judy, who went to Jonathan for help. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Tell me a little bit about your situation when you went to Jonathan.
Well, at the time when the economy downturned, we struggled to make our payments with the mortgage and came under the stress of missing a lot of payments, and were going to be foreclosed upon. So we were looking for a remedy out, and I was seeking the advice of another attorney who recommended us to Legal Group, and that's how we ended up meeting Jonathan.
And Jonathan, what were you able to do for them? They were a couple years behind. They had applied for modifications 8 or 9 times.
That's correct.
Which is frustrating, right?
Very.
I mean, that's difficult. And you went finally for help when you got a notice of trustee sale.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
Jonathan, pick it up from there.
Yeah, a lot of people find themselves in this situation where they have applied for these modifications over and over again, only to be declined. And Washington State has put into effect the Washington State Foreclosure Fairness Act, which allows homeowners to request mediation, which forces most lenders to come to the table with their attorneys to actually negotiate as a potential outcome rather than foreclosure to the foreclosure process. Now, this is exclusive to Washington State. It is only for your primary residence, so it's not for a rental property, and you cannot request it yourself. It can only be requested on your behalf by a housing counselor or an attorney such as myself.
And when you do, let's emphasize this again, because this is the part we really want people to understand. When you do that, for the most part, lenders are required then to come to the table, right?
Yes, they don't have a choice.
You're done with the asking and they're declining. They have to come to the table.
They have to come to the table, and that's where it really changes the perspective or the dynamics in the situation. Is now they have to come to the table to negotiate, rather than in the HAMP process they hold all the cards. They can either agree or disagree, let you go or not go. Now, of course, in dealing with Judy and Peter here, past results are not necessarily indicative of future results, and everybody's situation is different, and so everybody's outcome will be different. But we were able to put them into the mediation process, and I think we actually went to 2 mediation sessions, and we actually thought they were going to be even then declined, and we're very relieved to have gotten them the modification they've been seeking for over 2 years. So we got the payment down from, I think it was $2,035 a month down to, $17.
They're the figures.
22.
Yeah, $17.22, which is, not a major drop. But the biggest thing for them was it's about a 15% drop in payment. They really just needed to get caught up. That was the big deal. They were almost 2 years behind. How do you get caught up if they won't take the payments?
Yeah, the hole is too big, and these folks won't take the money. So you got that taken care of. How did you feel, Judy, when you realized you were going to keep your home and get a chance to make this right?
Oh, well, that particular day, I was overwhelmed. I cried. I cried. I was so relieved. Yeah.
And in this case, you guys were trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
Pay the money back, get caught up, make your payments on time.
Yes. It was very frustrating not having legal help, because we were doing it on our own. And, we'd miss a paper that they said we needed to get.
Right.
We thought we were getting them all together, and then they'd say, we're missing this, we're missing that, and they'd decline us, and it was very, very frustrating. So we needed legal help.
Absolutely. How do people find out if they qualify, Jonathan, under this law to get help?
Well, again, you qualify if it is your principal residence. Some banks are exempt, but most banks are not.
Why are some exempt?
Well, the legislature decided that if a bank had less than 250 foreclosures in the prior year, that was just too burdensome on them to have to go through this process, so they gave them an exemption.
Okay.
So every year about this time, actually, and it just came out last week, there's a new list of banks that are exempt. Mostly it's like Sterling Savings or some of the credit unions, Navy Federal Credit, BECU. These are the ones that are exempt because they're much smaller lenders in the market.
Okay.
But all the big ones, the Wells Fargos, the B of A's, and then the ones they transfer them onto, like Aquan and SPS and SLS, etc., they're all required to do the mediation process. But they'll never tell you about it. They'll tell you that you're declined for your modification and that your only options are short sale, deed in lieu, or foreclosure, and that's it. They'll never tell you about this option that Washington Washington State residents have.
I hope there's some push to amend the law that will require people to inform folks like Judy that you have this right, because if you've passed the law, why keep it
Right.
secret, right?
Right.
So we're trying to get the word out here, and I appreciate it. Thank you for coming, and I'm so glad that things worked out. You can find more online about Advantage Legal Group and the ways they can help you, as well as details on Washington State's Foreclosure Fairness Act, links to Jonathan's website, and the toll-free number. We'll be back after this.